And we're back again in our third and final video for week one, sessions 1 and 2. We've already covered the course orientation and covered session 1. And now I want to take this final video and take a look at class session 2 and what we'll be doing. So let's click on the class session folder and take a look. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of reading at the beginning of the class, but it really does tail off towards the end. And yes, because this is an accelerated course, you've got a ton of reading to do in this first week. Sorry about that. I wish there was a way around it, but there's not. There are the learning objectives. I won't go over those. I know you will later. And in the textbook, there are 3 chapters to read. 10 core concepts in action, working with ideas, and using source material. And this is because this is an accelerated course. You have to turn in a draft, not the final, but a draft of your first writing project by the end of this week. So that is Sunday the 14th. There's also a PowerPoint on summarizing and describing, which is what your first writing project is. Plagiarism resources, and then supplemental resources on plagiarism and MLA format. As I mentioned in the other video, anytime you see the word supplemental, it's up to you if you want to do it. If you think you're already good on plagiarism resources, you can skip that. Totally your choice. The assignments and assessments, we're going to finish off the discussion board of which picture is your writing process like, the plagiarism exercise, which is just a short quiz, and then a draft of your first writing project. Notice it's only worth 15 points. The final is worth a lot more. But that's because before we get to the final, you're going to get feedback from me, you're going to get feedback from somebody else in the course. We'll make it good. So those are the learning activities. Let's take a look in the folder. Notice, tutor.com is there again. I can't emphasize enough. This is a free resource that will help you improve your writing. Even if you think you're a great writer, it doesn't hurt to get somebody else's eyes to look at what you put together. So let's take a look in the learning activities folder and see what's there. Of course, the textbook is there. You can click on this link and read the assignments for session 2. I think there were 2 chapters in session 1. You've got 3 in session 2. I know it's a lot, but you'll get through it. Maybe you'll become an expert at skimming. And here is writing project 1, steps 1 through 6. Now, when I open this up, it's going to show a Word document that has a lot more than 6 steps. Only do the first 6. Don't try and do the whole thing. We're not to that point yet. And if you follow these 6 steps, you're going to be good. So what you're going to write about is something from the core readings. And I haven't shown you where the core readings are yet. They're not in the textbook. These are articles, a group of articles that have been selected, and you can pick any one you want to write about. But we'll get to that in just a minute. All you have to do for your first writing project is describe the core reading, summarize, and then respond with your own thoughts to the reading that you selected. Notice in this first step it says, summarize and respond to one of the core readings selected by your instructor. No, I'm not going to pick an article for you. You pick your own. What it means is that the articles that are available to you are ones I've gone through already, and you can figure out which one appeals to you. And they're pretty diverse. I think everyone will find something that they like in there. The audience will consist of the instructor and me and the other members of the class. And it asks you to write a situational analysis in this first writing project. I know that we're dumping a lot on you right out of the gate, so I'm actually going to say you don't have to do the situational analysis on this first writing project. You can skip that part. What I want you to spend your time paying attention to is what's in step 1, describing, summarizing, and responding. You're going to write about 600 words for your draft. Of course, the final will be more, 750 words. And it's in MLA format, which I talked about in the first video. So double-spaced, Times New Roman, in a Word document, and you'll submit it as an attachment. And I'll show you where to submit it here in just a minute. Oh yeah, it says APA or MLA style. No, we're only using MLA. I won't read through this entire thing because I know you're going to, and I recommend you print this one off as well. And as I mentioned before, this is just a first draft. And when you get to step 6, stop. Don't move on. I don't want you to go any further. So, what are we going to write about? I'll show you where it is. The core readings, they're right here. The core readings are journal articles, magazine articles, occasionally a video. And as it says, print your readings. It's just a good idea. So how do you pick which one you want? Well, they're grouped together by subject: experiencing education, economic justice, environmental sustainability, and so on and so on and so on. I won't go through all these. We're just going to take a quick peek at experiencing education. And I'm going to open up the first one. Sherman Alexie happens to be one of my favorite authors. You don't have to like him. And notice it's 6 pages, not terribly long. I like Sherman Alexie because he's really funny, even though he always has a good point that he's writing about. So how do you pick which one you want to read about? Well, how many do we have in the folder marked Experiencing Education? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 articles and 1 video. What I recommend you do, open one up in whatever folder you pick, skim through it. Don't read the whole thing. If you get into a paragraph or two and you notice this one just doesn't speak to me, go back and try another one. And keep skimming over them until you find one that you say, I like this one. That's the one you're going to write about. And when you get to the one you like, stop. You don't have to go through all of these. That would take way too much time. And we don't have that kind of time in this class. And when you find the one you like, print it. Okay, so we talked about the 10 core concepts. We talked about writing project 1, steps 1 through 6. I showed you where the core readings are. What else might you need? Well, you might need a PowerPoint. I'm not going to open this up because I know you will, but it gives you some valuable tips and some guidance about how to summarize and respond. If you don't want to go through the PowerPoint, you can read the transcript. There are the plagiarism resources, because there is a plagiarism quiz in this second session. And these are the 2 supplemental resources I was telling you about. If you think you're good on these, don't look at them. If you need them, there they are. Let's go back to class session 2 and take a look at what we have to do for the learning assignments. I think that's what they call these things. I should know, right? Assignments and assessments, that's what they call it. All right, session 1 and 2 discussion. We already talked about your initial post. Which picture is your writing process like? And that is where you wrote about yourself. Of everything that's posted there, you're going to write 2 responses in this first week. Each response should be about 100 words. You're going to write 2. So 200 words total. And if you need to know where that is, it's right here in discussions. I won't open this up. You know where it is now. And look for that form. Here is the plagiarism exercise. Click on that. You can have your textbook open when you're taking this. And notice it says it's about chapters 19 and 23. If you have 2 windows open, you can be looking at the book there. It might help. Who knows? You might not need it. I think these are pretty easy. And you simply click on Begin. It's only 10 questions. You'll do great. And here is Writing Project 1. You're going to put it in 2 places. This one comes to me. Here's the rubric, so you know how I'm going to look at it if you care. It is only 15 points. And here's where you put it. Notice there's a comments box down here. This is not where your writing project goes. It should be attached as a file. You'll have to click on Browse My Computer, and you have to send it to me as an attachment, a Word attachment. What do you put in comments? You don't have to put anything. You can just write hi Mark and hit the attachment and click submit. If I see your writing project here, well, I'm going to make fun of you. So don't do that. And don't think I won't make fun of you. I will. It's easy. Just submit it as an attachment. Once you send it to me, then you're also going to put it in here. This is the one that everyone else in the class will see and comment on in the next session. Again, you're going to click on Create Thread, give it a title, or subject, I should say. You could paste it in here if you wanted to, but I think most people would rather read an attachment. So click Browse My Computer, stick it in there, and whoever gets to it first gets to read it and evaluate it. Now, speaking of evaluation, when you read these things, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself now. What do you say? Well, you can't just say I like it or I hate it. You have to tell them what you thought they got right. But that's for the next week. And what they got wrong, and what still needs improvement. All right, I'm going to go back and look at the class session 2, which is the second half of the first week, and make sure that I've covered everything and we might be wrapped up. I hope you like these videos and I hope you find them helpful. I'm trying to keep them as short and to the point as I can because I know your time is valuable. Yep, that looks to be it. Welcome to class, everybody. If you need me, text me, 812-498-4200. Just remember, you tell me who you are, so when I read the text, I know who it's coming from. If you want to drop me an email, mstenger1@ivytech.edu or mstenger@metlife.com. If you want to call me, it's a free call, 800-416-1747. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.